What's up, Canes family? Happy Sunday morning. As I pour myself a little cafecito, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share the video, let them know we're dropping a little Sunday morning content. Wanted to do a quick little recap / do-over of my live stream yesterday. Again, I apologize. It got taken down because we were showing some stuff from the game. Got hit with the copyright thing and all that. So I apologize. Yesterday was, how do they say in Spanish? Una mierda. It was cacapipi. So going to do a do-over, a Cliff Note version of my thoughts of the game yesterday, and wanted to give you my thoughts heading into the Texas A&M game. I did catch some of their game against New Mexico, so wanted to give you my thoughts on them and what kind of challenges they pose. But first of all, cheers. Delicious. All right. So again, quick, tight recap. Story of the game was the offensive line. They dominated. We were physical at the point of attack, physical in the trenches. Both offensive line and D line. But one of the unsung heroes of the game that, when I went back and watched like the full game highlights, where I watched like even the plays that don't make the highlight tape, but all those little 3, 4, 5 yard runs, man, Cam McCormick, I don't think he was talked about enough as that lead blocker kind of from that H-back position. I mean, he was mauling dudes. I mean, every single play, he had a hat on somebody and he was hitting them hard. So that was great to see. You could see why Mario Cristobal wanted to bring him over here, right? He's a fantastic blocker. So he was a very valuable unsung hero in this game, I thought. Running backs, I mean, we're loaded at that position. I love our running backs. Mark Fletcher, I am so glad he's a Hurricane. That dude's going to be a beast. TVD, saw a lot of people on Twitter and Instagram comments and stuff kind of worried about, oh, his throws looked a little loopy. Is his hand okay? Look, yeah, some throws looked a little loopy, but that was when it was pouring rain outside. So that ball was really wet. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. When it was dry, there was noticeably more zip on his passes. So I wouldn't worry about that, honestly. Tyler looked solid. He did everything they asked him to do. He wasn't really pushing the ball downfield too much. It was a lot of, and for good reason, the corners were playing way off our receivers. So it was a lot of short stuff, sideline stuff. He looked accurate, for the most part. He just made the one bad mistake on the interception where he just completely stared down Jacoby George. He does have to work on that. That is one flaw in his game where if especially somebody coming across the middle, he tends to zero in on that dude. He's got to learn, to look off that safety more. But I know he's working on that. But offensive line was, or the entire offense, it was very tough to stop. It was very clear we weren't going to show anything, but I like that we were able to do that against a D1 opponent, albeit not a very good D1 opponent, but, it wasn't Bethune-Cookman, it wasn't FAMU, it wasn't an FCS opponent, which is, obviously a much further step down in competition. This was a team that made a bowl game last year, and we just lined up and we're like, we're going to run it down your throat, whether you like it or not. And sure enough, we did. We just wore them out. And you know what? Eventually, it showed on the scoreboard. 38-3. We more than double the spread, I think. So very happy with all that. Defense, the linebackers, one thing I noticed, not only were they hitting much harder, linebackers, safeties, everybody was hitting harder. Defensive line was getting after it. The older guys, Jafari Harvey, Harrison Hunt, had nice games. From what I saw from Leonard Taylor, I don't think he put up many stats, but he was getting some good push, kind of collapsing that pocket. Ruben Bain affecting almost every play he was on. Another guy just like Mark Fletcher. I am so glad he's a Miami Hurricane. We're very lucky to have him. A lot of freshmen got in some playing time, but some of the older guys played well. KJ Cloyd, another older guy, had a nice game, nice debut for him. Francisco Maui-Noah, excuse me, I gotta get that right. Francisco Maui-Noah, great game. It is nice to have that general in the middle of the field. 6'3", 220, 230, whatever he is. He's big, he's physical, also very quick. I like his closing speed whenever Brett Gabbert rolled out. Didn't give him much breathing room. So all in all, great to see. Special teams was solid, aside from the one mistake by Restrepo catching it at the 3, but we got bailed out. Borregales was 3 for 3 on his field goals. I know one bounced in, but whatever, it counts. The ball's just flying off his foot. And Dylan Joyce, the punter, very relieved to know that we have a solid punter for the next 4 years. Hopefully that play continues, but he looks really good. Let's see what else. Yeah, just overall, solid execution. Just got to clean up the pre-snap penalties. If we're facing Texas A&M, you can't have a 3rd and 3 turn into a 3rd and 8. You can't let that happen against those guys. They are much better than Miami, Ohio, so we cannot shoot ourselves in the foot if we want to win this game. I think we do have a really good chance of winning this game, but you got to clean that stuff up. I'm sticking with my prediction, my bold prediction that I made on the Miami Mayhem show. Andy Borregales, All-American. I think he's going to do it. He looks like a kicker that can kick in the NFL. But on to next week, Texas A&M. I watched some of the game that they had last night, and you know what? Connor Wigman, yeah, he looked really good. Put up incredible stats, 250, 300-something yards. I know he had 5 touchdown passes. Max Johnson didn't get in the game much, so it looks like Connor Wigman is going to be the starter going into our game. He's accurate. I wasn't super impressed with the arm strength, but his playmakers at wide receiver certainly make up for it. I believe the big dude, his name's Noah Thomas, 6'6", and looks every bit of it. He can go up and get that ball. And then you got Evan Stewart, who's a very talented receiver. I think he led the game in receiving at over 100 yards. So their receivers are really going to challenge our corners. I think that's going to be the thing that Miami has to watch out for. Got to jam them at the line, got to do whatever we can. And you know what? I'm glad we've kind of revamped that room and have bigger, more physical corners. Jadis Richards is 6'2". Damari Brown, 6'1.5", 6'2", although he's a freshman. We'll see what he can do. Devontae Brown, I believe, is like 6 feet. So you got bigger guys there. So it does make me feel a little better, but it's kind of like corner by committee kind of thing. So I really hope we can challenge the receivers, and I hope we can get after the quarterback. Certainly, I think Lance Guidry, he was very aggressive in this last game, so I think he's going to throw a lot at Connor Wigman. He's going to disguise some stuff. Just like the offense, I think the defense did hold back a little bit as well. I think Guidry has a couple of cards up his sleeve that he's gonna unveil in this game. So looking forward to seeing that. I think their defensive line is a D line that I think we should be able to push them around a little bit again. There was a scoring drive that New Mexico or New Mexico State? I don't remember. New Mexico had this scoring drive where they moved methodically down the field. It was their only touchdown drive. Nonetheless, I feel like, their D-line got pushed around a little bit. Our O-line is certainly better than New Mexico's, so I think we can kind of continue where we left off in last year's game. But we need to be able to complete some throws. Catching the ball was not an issue in the first game against Miami of Ohio, and the ball was wet, so also nice to see. Just overall, from a culture standpoint, I don't think we've completely turned the corner just yet. You don't do that in 2 recruiting classes, but I do see a change. It is noticeably different. Guys are hustling, getting after it. Guys are playing a little smarter, especially on defense. I noticed that right away. The defense looks very well coached. So again, their corners, they're going to be a bit of a problem. They're going to be a challenge, but hopefully we can get after Connor Wigman, pressure him into some bad throws. Like I said, I'm not super impressed with his arm strength. He underthrew a couple balls. There was one touchdown he threw to, I want to say it was Thomas, that was underthrown a bit, and he had to come back for it. And I think that's something we can exploit potentially. So, it's going to take a clean game next week. But I'm excited. It's, still enjoying the victory from Friday night, 38-3. It looked nice on the scoreboard, almost a shutout. Going to keep enjoying it, but, as we go into the week, we're going to start preparing for Texas A&M. Should have a couple of videos, a couple of live streams this week, and I try to have some guests on, but should be a fun lead up to that game. I will certainly be there. It's a 3:30 kickoff. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to show out again in front of some big time recruits. We had a handful of top class of 2025 recruits at this last game. So it was nice to show them a good atmosphere. There was about 50,000 people in the stands. Solid, crowd noise. It was a nice atmosphere. It was like, Friday night lights. That was cool to show, some of the young kids from 2025. But this coming week is when you really got to show something. show that atmosphere and really cash in with a win. I mean, winning in where they can see it live in the stands, they can high five the fans, get to talk to the fans, to just see that camaraderie. On a good day where we get a W, I think that goes a long way in recruiting. So anyways, that's it for me. Gonna enjoy the rest of my cafecito. Please, again, hit the like button on your way out, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Go Canes.